outside of Annapolis Royal this afternoon. Actually, not this afternoon, it's still morning, it's before lunch. We're just outside of Annapolis Royal. I just went for a short walk at Mickey Hill. And now we're going to take a little drive out south towards Milford and down towards Clementsville area. And loop back up probably towards Annapolis Royal on a couple different roads that we've never been on, or haven't taken you on yet. And it's just too nice of a day to really stay home. And I've been kind of cooped up for a few days. And I'm kind of tired of it. My back still hurts quite a bit, but sitting home is quite painful too. There becomes a time where it's just, you gotta get up and do stuff, get it moving. A body in motion stays in motion. When you're not in motion, it seems the only thing you really gain is pain. It's just finding that fine little line. Stay in that happy spot, which sometimes seems to be quite a challenge. One of those days we just got to get out and go for a drive. And enjoy what the day's going to offer us. I know one thing, it'll definitely look a little bit different than the last time that we drove out through here, and it was snow blowing, squalls everywhere, and quite a bit slippery of a patch of pavement under you. It just, today will be a little different. This will be the Route 8, Highway 8, that leads from Annapolis out through Lochiel to, I believe it goes out to Liverpool or Bridgewater. This will take you right out. If you stay on this road, it'll take you to Kedgemakujik. And if you go past that and stay on, it'll take you out through and take you over to Liverpool. Liverpool's a really nice town, really pretty. Me and my wife, we like to drive around and look at the little painted fire hydrants. It's something that town's done for a few years. I really don't know perfectly honest, but it's quite cute. You're driving around, you're looking at all the old architecture, some of the nice old houses, the old sailors' homes, and spotted all through the town is these little painted up fire hydrants made to look like little toy soldiers and stuff. It adds a nice little touch of personality and charm onto it. But Liverpool and Lunenburg, they've got some of the nicest homes around here for old style original architecture brought right from overseas. And Annapolis Royal has some really nice older properties. Granville Ferry, the little village across the river from Annapolis Royal, that has some gorgeous little homes. Not necessarily little, but Victorian era or whatever. They're gorgeous. There used to be, it's still there, but they don't do it up at Christmas time like they used to. It used to be known as a gingerbread house. It was gorgeous. And I was right across the river from Annapolis Royal, right from the Queen Anne's Wharf. Interesting to see what takes place in the future through here. There's slated in the future, there's big clear cuts supposed to happen out on the southeast side of where I just left, out on the backside of Mickey Hill. There's going to be a big clear cut that the Nova Scotia government's going to go through with. Kind of got mixed feelings about that. Feel sad for all the nature and old growth forests that'll be lost. But some of it I understand because of, look at the fire and look at what happened last year with the fire and everything just outside the valley. And from what they're saying, we're expected to have an even drier, even hotter summer this year. I had the idea to start this channel and capture some of my favorite spots that I like to go to and my favorite drives that I used to go to and like to frequent. I mean, I got a few problems that I've dealt with and physically, and well, I'm still currently going through a few things, but I've had a few hospital visits in the past where they were definitely extended hospital stays, we'll say that. of shifts your perspective on things, and it was just kind of one day, it was like, you know, there's that last day that you're playing with your buddies when you're little, and you don't really know it's the last day. You're all chilling outside. There's always that chance. Just, you don't know when it's that last time you're going to be able to take that drive, or when you might be cooped up and not, you know, want just more than memories. So I started doing some of these drives. Kind of making them almost like a personal database for the future. Holy lifting, that was that windshield has seen better days. But yeah, it's kind of a personal database, or the ability to share some of my favorite spots with other people. But it's become something that I enjoy and have enjoyed doing. It's given me a reason to get out and do a few extra things. Get a little bit more adventurous. Leave my home base a little bit more, I guess. Spread my wings a bit more. I was definitely somebody for a routine. Settled into a routine. It's nice to break that. Your morning coffee and your normal 1 or 2, 3 different walks that you might do. I don't know. This past year's been kind of nice. Being more adventurous, even if it is still tucked a little bit close to home, but somebody once said you got to be able to appreciate what's close to home before you really can appreciate what the rest of the world has to offer, I guess, maybe. Or something like that. I've seen a lot of places from the different perspective. From the ocean looking in. big lake. Cranberry to the north of us. This will be the Virginia road that we're on currently. Cuts between Milford and, well, it would be Clementsville area. And then you can go down, in which you can go back in towards Annapolis. You can cut to the north and go to Annapolis, or you can continue down into the southwest of the province, down towards Bear River and Bear River East and Clementsville, Upper Clements. Today we're going to cut back up through to Annapolis because that's nice right there. Lake Cady, C-A-D-Y. It's quite a long lake, that is. Entry to Grand Lake off to the right. Considered Virginia East. Where the roads are bumpy. now this is Frasertown. This is the Clementsville Road that we're on. We're just going by Beeler's Lake. Quite a few snowmobile tracks on there. A few people have been having some fun. Good winter for the snowmobilers in Nova Scotia this year. Right from one end of the province to the other, she's been covered. And I think it's been half decent snow. It's just now starting to go to like a hard pack. It stayed so cold for so long after the snow fell. I imagine it'll probably get really good for them now because they'll have a nice hard pack under it. Sunday or Monday-ish, we're supposed to get another real good snowstorm. 15 to 20, possibly more centimeters of snow. Which might not seem like a whole lot other places, but I mean we've got a fair amount already. And most of our snowpack, to be honest with you, in years past, our snowpack tends to come and go. We have they can be a bit more of a messy winter. This is kind of the winter that I like, where it just comes and stays until it's going to be ready to leave. Knock on wood, so to speak. hurry up and release or whatever. Just, I don't know. It seems like every day it gets a little bit, it's getting worse almost. It's having a really hard time straightening out my left leg. It's just super tight going up my back. Makes it really hard to get around. I'd like to be doing some walking videos. And I'm pretty sure that the dogs, the pups would like me to be doing some videos too, but it's really quite painful. I couldn't even imagine Abby pulling on the leash or anything at this point. Unless you want to hear a grown man cry on camera. But I think the worst thing, for me, the worst thing seems to be is there's no balance. Like, I've got hardly any balance. It's like my core has just been rocked. And when you try to steady yourself, it really just, there's a lot of pain in all them movements. So I don't really, I don't know. In times past, this stuff would kind of, it would take a number of days, but it would kind of, you'd come out of it, it'd fix itself up, or calm down, however you wanted to just say it. But this seems to be digging right in. Oh wow, you can really see the clear cut up there on the, I want to say mountain, but I guess it is on the South Mountain. But it's more of like just a hill in comparison to some. Wonder what brought that on. You don't really notice that kind of stuff so much in the summertime when it's, I guess, happening. It can blend in. But then you get a big snowfall, or even just a little bit of snowfall that just, it highlights those areas, those cut out areas. Back into Lakeel. And we're going to turn up and go on the Dugway Road, just coming up here. We'll go up the Dugway Road and then we'll go across the marsh back into Annapolis. It's a nice little drive. I'm glad that I got out and did it. I'm glad that I just got out. Here, this is what we used to call the gristmill. There used to be a big water wheel right there where that construction is taking place on the front of it. water wheel hydro facility, and now it's, for a little while they had it decorative kind of just there, like to show what it used to be, but now they're obviously, in the last few years, they've started changing what the building is. It was nice though, while it still had that old-timey charm. Seems like everything's losing that. Hopefully these, I don't know. I fear that all too soon these videos are just gonna be a postcard to a time in Nova Scotia that we can't go back to no more, because I think the writing is on the wall for this area, this end of the province. I think there's gonna be big changes in what she looks like around here. Fact of the matter is, you can't just have population growth and have it only happen in Halifax. It's a beautiful spot, and as you can see, there's still lots of room. Infrastructure, that's a different situation. But I fear that a lot of what we've all loved and called Nova Scotia and see and remember, I think it's going to change quite rapidly from here on out. And it seems to already be happening. I don't think everywhere needs to look like a Halifax or a Toronto or we ain't gotta hit, everything doesn't have to be concrete, but hopefully that's not what takes place. I hate that auto shut off and auto start, stop start stuff. I just know that someday I'm going to sit there and this thing's going to shut off, and that's going to be that. And when it does, Brody ain't going to be a happy camper. Can't beat small town Canada, in my opinion. I just hope that we don't try to change it too much. slide down through town here. The river looks so pretty. It's so calm, just like a sheet of glass. For so long, you weren't allowed to have the neon sign. That was such a big thing for the historical society in Annapolis and all that, the heritage stuff. There was no neon signs. And now it's a shame, not to say that it's bad, but to know all the businesses that have tried to get into Annapolis that have been turned away just because they wanted to put up a sign, a promotional sign. Like at one point there was Wendy's and Tim Hortons that wanted to go in where the train station is by Annapolis, by the right across from the historical gardens. They wanted to put a Wendy's in there and a Tim Hortons, and they wanted to have a lit up sign, one of their signs, out on the #1 highway. So it would have just been, I think it would have been about 500, probably 500 feet or whatever. Not a real great distance from where the train station, where that building would have been. And they wanted to put a Tim Hortons sign there, and that's basically the whole reason why they pulled out. They wasn't going to be able to showcase the business. And this is what I'm saying. They wanted to put a sign here. They wanted to have one right here on this corner somewheres. And this is the train station that I'm talking about, that they wanted to do a little Tim Hortons, Wendy's thing. And it honestly probably would have been quite a success. But yeah, there's lots of things like that where actual pretty successful companies wanted to come here. And this is where they wanted to have a sign out here, and the town completely shut them down because it was going to kill the heritage appeal of the town. Meanwhile, look at like Lunenburg and Liverpool and Bridgewater and Halifax. Like it doesn't affect it. So many things that were done to just kind of strangle so many small little spots on this end of the province, it seemed like, in such a short window of time. It almost seemed calculated. And even when they wanted to do it, they had talked, there was a building over in Granville and they wanted to do it over there, and they shut them down because they didn't want the signs visible from Annapolis and whatnot. Just I won't say mismanaged, but there were some opportunities that were definitely missed. But that's the drive for today. I don't think it would have been such a bad thing to have a sign or two for a restaurant around here, but that's just me. And now the time and the appeal for it is kind of past. But we shall see what develops. And maybe I'll keep you posted. Anyway, thank you for joining me.